Ecce ancilla Domini, fiat mihi, secundum verbum tuum. Hello, here is a quick video running through how to pray the Little Offices of the Blessed Virgin Mary for the Feast of the Annunciation, which is the 25th of March, and this year 2021, that falls on a Thursday, this next Thursday, just a couple of days away. So, what is the main thing? The main thing is the Feast of the Annunciation. Let me get the wording right. On the Feast of the Annunciation, the office of Advent is said with the Te Deum. During Lent, the A is omitted. Sorry, there's a word begins with an A that we don't say during Lent or during Septuagesima. A lot of the books assume when you're praying the Advent office, you're in Advent. So when you look at the standard little office books, like the Baronius Press one, they don't put in the alternatives. How do you finish off a piece if you're not finishing off with that lovely A word? So that's where I had to do a little bit of reconstruction, but most of it is just cutting and pasting from the other books, which do have a more full-featured range of chants. So, kicking off, you would start with Vespers. Now, you'd think Vespers is the evening prayer, wouldn't you start in the morning? But we anticipate tomorrow's feast day at Vespers. So because it's the first-class feast, I reckon we'd be saying Vespers, getting ready in the Annunciation mode. So that means we'd be choosing the Advent options in here. So a lot of it is the same. We've got the same beginning. The psalmody, we choose the Advent psalmody. Same psalms, different antiphons. And it's the same 5 antiphons for, they come up for Lauds and Vespers. And they're also the same ones that are put into the little hours as well. So terce, sext, none, prime, not in that order. So the other thing with Matins, show you a clip of the page for Matins. All is as Matins above, except for the following. In the third nocturne, recited on Wednesdays and Saturdays, and on the Feast of the Annunciation, the final antiphon is as follows. The psalm is given here in full. So, because the Annunciation falls on a Thursday, I would have thought we were singing Nocturne 1 for Sundays and Thursdays and Mondays. But there's 3 nocturnes for Matins. You sing Nocturne 1 for Sunday, Monday and Thursday, Nocturne 2 for Tuesday and Friday, and Nocturne 3 for Wednesdays and Saturdays. So there you go. So, because they have this special antiphon commemorating the Annunciation for the third nocturne, that's why it comes in today. On the Annunciation. So for... that's for the Matins. Man, I'm getting ahead of myself. Rewind. Advent Psalmody. The little chapter has there's 2 main little chapters for Advent, so they alternate them pretty much through all the hours, through the 7 spots in the Liturgy of the Hours where you can have a little chapter. Because there's 7 spots and they want to alternate them, there's one extra one for known, which is different. Here is the Advent Magnificat Antiphon. So we can see Spiritus Sanctus in te descendet Maria, ne te meas habebus in utero filium Dei. And here's the word we can't sing. So I've added in, using the same sort of notes, the same sort of shape. Let's go to the second one, which is the same, but it doesn't have the page break in the middle. So we go habebus in utero, then skip to the bottom line, filium Dei. Habebus in utero, filium Dei. Magnificat, anima mea Dominum, and so on. So that is the Magnificat, and then the last bit after the Magnificat is the ending with the collect, and you would choose the collect for Advent. And that is how you would sing Vespers. The conclusion is the same. Deo gratias. There we go. So that's Vespers taken care of. That's the first hour for your Annunciation. After Vespers comes Compline, which is one of my better booklets, so that will have translations for most stuff. We've got a little picture from Compline. You can see all is in Compline above, so all is in your usual Compline except for the little chapter, the little versicle and response at the end of the chapter, and the antiphon at the Nunc Dimittis. And that is the same as the antiphon at Vespers that we just did. Next we come to the Marion Antifunds, which come at the end of Compline. There are 4 to choose from, and the question is for the Annunciation, which one would you go with? Also, as a side note, the Marion Antifunds may be sung after any other hour, so you can conclude any hour with the Marion Antiphon just like you would for Compline. So that's a good one to note. If you want to make, it says commendably, so it's actually recommended to finish up with the Marion Antiphon. So for Advent, we have Alma Redemptoris Mater, which is sort of related to that theme of the Annunciation, and even has the couplet afterwards, Angelus Domini nunciavit Mariae, et concepit de Spiritu Sancto. So I will, at the moment, I only really have my own personal opinion, and I think I lean more to finishing with whatever Marion Antiphon is the actual season. So in this case, it's Lent. If Annunciation falls during Easter, then it would be the Regina Caeli. But I am open to suggestions, and so I will keep an ear out if I find anyone who sounds like an authority on the matter. But I think for now you have leeway which one you want to go with, Alma or Ave Regina Caelorum. God bless. The next one is Matins. Now Matins has this groovy little instruction at the top. All is as Matins above except for the following. In the 3rd nocturne recited on Wednesday and Saturday and on the Feast of the Annunciation, the final antiphon is as follows. The psalm is given here in full. So from this I would say on the Feast of the Annunciation you choose nocturne number 3. So the Feast of the Annunciation falls on a Thursday this year, so I had assumed we would do nocturne 1, but I think it's fairly clear from this clip, nocturne 3, so that's not too much of a change, and this antiphon, Angelus Domini nunciavit Mariae. For the rest of Matins we have here, okay, let's have a look at the table of contents. So the invitatory will be the same, the hymn will be the same, the psalmody will be singing Wednesday psalms with that extra Angelus Domini nunciavit Mariae in there. And then the versicles and the paternoster will be the same. The lessons and responsories will be the ones during Advent. And since it's a feast day, the Te Deum will be said. So we just sing the first 2 responsories of the Advent part, then wrapping up the second one with the Gloria Patri at the end, and then the third, instead of the third responsory, we sing the Te Deum. And that we've got 2 Te Deums, the simple and the solemn, and because it's such a huge feast day, it'd be nice to sing the solemn one. But it's up to you, whatever you can manage. There's the unofficial conclusion, and so usually Matins and Lauds are supposed to butt together. So if you've run out of stamina for after Matins, you can divert to the unofficial conclusion, and there is, I've put in, just outside of Christmas. So this is the same as the one for the Advent period. So and that's taken from Lauds, I think. Yeah, Lauds. Okay. So if you're in a normal sort of frame of mind, you would be going on to Lauds and the contents here. So we've got Psalms for Advent, or the antiphons for the Psalms for Advent. The Psalms are still the same. The little chapter, there's a outside Christmas and Advent. So during Christmas and Advent, it'll be the one during the Christmas and Advent season. The hymn is the same. The Benedictus has the Advent antiphon, the Spiritus Sanctus, and there's a prayer for Advent at the end. So that's fairly straightforward. After Lauds comes Prime. Okay, so this is Prime. Actually, it might be easier to get the idea of Prime from these books, because this one gives just the differences. So all is at Prime except for the antiphon, Missus est Gabriel Angelus, and the little chapter, Ecce Virgo Concipiat, and there's the prayer at the end, the Oremus, Deus Quid Beate Mariae. So that's all pretty straight. Then Terce is similar. It has its own Advent antiphon, Advent little chapter, and you can see that Ecce and then a Gradiator with its proper versicle and response, and then the same collect again, Deus Quid Beate Mariae Virginis Utero. So prime text. Next one is Sext. It has its own antiphon again, its own little chapter. Oh, this is the little chapter that's only for Sext in Advent. So all the other ones have been Ecce and Agrediator. This is the other one to even it up because there's an odd number of hours and you don't want to have two the same in consecutive hours by the looks of it. So the Lord shall give unto him the throne of David his father, and he shall reign in the house of Jacob forever, and of his kingdom there shall be no end. There you go. And the same Oremus, Deus qui Beate Maria Virginis at the end. Known, it has antiphon. The little chapter, it's going back to Ecce. And Deus qui Beate Maria Virginis for the collect at the end. So after known comes Vespers, and we've already covered Vespers. Have a great feast day, and I'll see you all next time. God bless. Bye. Spiritus Sanctus in te descendet Maria, nati mea sebebis in utero filium Dei. We need an alternate version, don't we? Okay, I'll get to work on that one.